Well, I'm happy to be back. We'll just leave it at that. Good evening, America, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. You know the drill. It's 9 p.m. Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, and I'm your anchor here at It's Happening Out, Al Ferguson. Let's start tonight's show by meeting tonight's host. First, let's welcome Faye. What? She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Faye's Fur Family. Also, make sure you catch the Faye What Show, the first LGBTQ plus morning show on Mondays at 9 a.m. Wait, is that a misprint? 9 a.m. Eastern? Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, boys. I'm so happy to be here, and welcome back, Al. You look whiter than usual. Like, that's possible. No sun in the trunk of my car, huh?
Nope. That's
Welcome
right.
back, Poppy. I missed you. You know that I am not my best when you're not around. So I tried my best to sit in that white-ass chair of yours and,
Wait.
I didn't break it.
Who are you and what did you do with Faye?
I missed you,
right.
Okay? There. I'm never going to say it again. Continue with the show.
We're done. All right, next up is John Hayden. John is South Florida's at-large multimedia reporter. He works for SFGN, covering politics, arts, and the bar scene, probably mostly because he focuses on happy hours so much. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Al. It's great to be back. I was also gone for a little while, and I missed you. I missed all of you guys. And last year, I don't know if you remember, we did a segment talking about the gay agenda. Well, this year, we're going to keep track of it. I got the Gay Agenda Daily Planner this year, so I'm going to be keeping track of everything, and at the end of the year, we can do a review. And it even came with stickers, so I just love this.
But what do you put on there? Like, yep, still gay.
Yeah.
Tuesday, still gay.
John, prove it. Right. All right, next, let's welcome Dale Stein. He is a well-known photographer and is famous for his photographs of internationally acclaimed DJs, producers, drag personas, politicos, business people, and entertainers, including our own Faye What. He is also moderator of South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook group, Miami Gay List, which is now also on Instagram at Miami Gay List Official. Good evening, Dale.
Hi there. It's great to be here. Great to be with this group. Let's have a fun night.
And by the way, little known fact, in case you don't know, if you've watched the premiere of the Faye What show, the That Girl theme song in the opening, that's Dale Stein.
That's my voice.
Yes, that's your voice. It was great.
Pleasure to be a part of it.
All right, next, let's welcome David Hopkins. David is an officer of the Lambda Men's Brotherhood, a local charity organization that works within the leather community to raise funds for at-need members of our community. Good evening, David.
Hey, and everybody, we do have our next charity event on the 22nd of January this month. It's a pool party in leather, $25 admission, and we're being gender inclusive. So our trans brothers and sisters, you're welcome. Come on down.
I want to know if that guy is going to be at the pool party, because I am there. So, good evening, South Florida. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ talk show in the world. We have so much to talk about tonight. I'm back after being on the West Coast, and I'll tell you a little about that. And it's all next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, let's try to make sure I'm not too rusty tonight, and that is a warning, because you're watching a live and unedited LGBTQ talk show, so every mistake I make, all of my closest friends here tonight are going to point out every single one of them.
We wouldn't do
And I wrote
that.
the teleprompter, and he hasn't reviewed it, so
Yes.
I know I threw some loops in for him.
We're running raw with scissors. So anything can happen, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the bell for updates. On Facebook, like and share this video. And if you haven't heard, we made the announcement yesterday, February 1, we moved to broadcast television. Wow. It's Happening Out will broadcast starting in February on Roku television, on Apple Plus, on Google Plus, and Amazon Fire television. So you'll be able to watch us on your big screen. Tell Alexa to turn us on, and we'll come right before your big screen. You know, Faye, when you're in bed,
Yeah, that girl's name is Alexa?
Yeah.
Oh, now I know. Good.
Right. All right. Let's begin the show with a unique meme of the week. It's called, I don't know this, when he says he'll pay for dinner. Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, I mean, how
All right,
else
what
is he
do y'all
going to pay?
think?
How else is he going to pay for dinner? I mean, wow.
You know, I have to tell you, I have just spent 3.5 weeks on the West Coast, Seattle to Los Angeles, spent 6 days in West Hollywood. I saw this over and over and over again.
Right.
I love singlets.
I love all the sports memes that have been created out of the natural things that happen in sports events.
Do you think somebody's going to recognize this boy and he's going to share It's Happening Out to him and he's going to be
Well,
horrified?
if he does, he can message the It's Happening Out
Yeah.
page because I monitor that and I will get that message. And we
Okay,
can,
all right. We got
That's what he does for dinner. I wonder what he does for
Thirsty
drinks.
party
I mean,
one.
you know,
Your table is
there's
ready.
always the full Nelson, but I'd be happy with just the half Nelson.
Yeah. Dude. All right. Happening Out is part of a partnership between the Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots magazine. Hotspots, as you know, is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ experience. Together, we bring you the best of LGBTQ news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community as the largest LGBTQ media platform and network in Florida. Let's decide who needs a drink.
All of you.
I
desperate.
need a drink. It's
Or 7.
the way I'm going to get through this show tonight.
And I hear you guys are drinking dark rum today, huh?
Yes. Oh, tell me about that. This is courtesy of John. Tell us about this rum before we start.
This is Havana Club 7-year from Havana.
Is this illegal to have here?
It is illegal.
Somehow it fell into my suitcase while I was in the middle of the Caribbean.
Oh.
Yeah.
God bless St. Kitts. It's one of my favorites, and it's
it smells so good.
it
smells like
is-
bad decisions.
It is so good, and it is bad decisions. So
As John knows, and I know, this is made by Havana Club, which is the original Bacardi factory in Cuba before Fidel threw them out and they went to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're asking you to play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. We invite you at home to play right along with us. It'll be better. Faye will be funnier if you've got liquor in your hand, too.
I'm also cuter. With more liquor that you drink.
She's just as easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, no, that's true.
All right. I'm going to ask our host 4 questions. If they agree with the question, they take the shot. And we assure you, this is Havana 7-year-old. It's Black 7, so it's a great one. They take the shot. If they disagree, well, Lord, after a month, it's going to be a long evening for me.
Al, you're already leaning out of frame. Have you had a few shots beforehand?
Out of frame.
It's gonna
I
be
told
one of
you.
those shows.
This is what happens
See
when
I told
production is
y'all?
on the show.
These bitches are going to read me to filth tonight. All right, let's play I'd Swallow That. First question. When Matt Gaetz and Ted Cruz started trending, everyone thought it was Matt dating Ted's 13-year-old. Well, before we do the question challenge, watch this.
For loving you, Ted. You know, you can bend over at bended knee for them, but they're just not going to love you. I think that was maybe an effort by the good senator, who we agree with on many things, to recast himself in the eyes of some of the folks in your profession. But we didn't find it particularly factual or sincere. John?
Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene side by side. It's like a dynamic duo. I'd swallow that. Question number 1. It's creepy when Matt Gaetz says, bend over.
For real.
For real.
You could stop with, it's creepy when Matt Gaetz. Period. It's creepy.
You could.
However, his son Nestor, who's here totally legally, can bend over anytime he wants.
Oh.
you know, I mean, I'm a self-loathing gay. I'd bend over for him. Matt, not Nestor.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
Who would be the top and who would be the bottom if they were having butt love?
Marjorie Taylor Greene would be the top.
Oh, she'd be
For
pegging him.
sure.
That makes
Are you
sense.
kidding? He'd have a baseball bat.
That's an orgy I don't want to be a part of. Ugh.
Yeah. What straight man, what politician, what congressman, what in front of national television, who says bend over?
Nobody.
Who says that? I mean, seriously.
He was one step away from saying bend and snap.
All that's stuck in my head, because we'll be discussing her later, is Elvira saying, I'd bend over backwards to make a deal. I'd bend over forwards. Yeah, Elvira can get away with it. Matt Gaetz cannot.
It's creepy.
And what he says, he can bend over all he wants, they're still not going to love him? My God.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the story of my love life.
That's what glory holes are for.
Oh, we're going to explore that. All right. Ooh, Lord, I pushed the joke back in. All right. Pose created a cultural phenomenon and a resurgent of the ball culture. You know, before I came down here, I didn't even know what a ball was. So I've grown.
That's a setup.
Yeah. But the trans people who best represent that culture haven't received the accolades they deserve until now. Watch this.
Y'all know I haven't been getting on live because I've been working real hard, but I gotta take this moment to say this because I couldn't really say all of this in a post. Like, I just posted and I'm definitely gonna be posting, but I have to say this. Number one, thank you, Golden Globes. This is for the LGBTQAI, Black, Latina, Asian, the many beautiful colors of the rainbow around the freaking world. This is not just for me. This is for y'all. This is the door that opens for y'all. Not me, for y'all. There are going to be so many young individuals, young, talented, thriving individuals that are going to be able to trail in and storm in through the door. This is for y'all.
I'd swallow that. Question number 2. MJ Rodriguez, being the first trans actress to win a Golden Globe, gives me hope.
It gives me life. It gives me...
And give her another Golden Globe for that acceptance speech.
And it's about time after every other award show snubbed the trans members of the Pose cast. I mean, I love Billy Porter, but like, he was an okay character.
What? You're insane. I can't believe you I can't believe you called him an okay character. That's ridiculous.
The point you make is very well taken, because the Golden Globes had to be shamed into this in a sense, and she deserves it. There's no question of that. But the Golden Globes were so non-inclusive that they were shamed. I mean, they weren't even aired this year.
You know, when I was out in Los Angeles, I went to the Beverly Hilton, which is where they hold the Golden Globe. And it was very, very funny to me because the Golden Globes not being on television has really diminished their presence. And I was sad about it over this moment because she didn't get the moment that she really, really needed in the broadcast on national television. So I'm sad that this was the year that the Golden Globes were not broadcast, because we would have really seen her have that same kind of reaction live in television.
You know, on that note, I almost feel like the media is kind of making up for that. They realize that she didn't get to have her speech on TV, so all the media is running this. So, Michaela J., we love you. We can't wait to see more of you and see you win more awards. It's great.
Your career is just starting. Next, in I'd Swallow That, strip clubs used to be one of the only safe places for sex workers to make money. COVID has shut many of them down. They need to come down here to South Florida. I'd swallow that. Question number 3. America's most famous gay strip club, which is Swinging Richards, closes, and it has me worried about gay nightlife all across America. What do y'all think? Do y'all agree with that? You worried?
I don't know about worry, because we are an LGBTQ community. We're all about pivoting. You know, we're always being, no, you can't do that. A door is always being shut on us, so we always find another door. Go for it.
How are the girls' clubs doing?
We don't have any. We have freaking 12. One just opened in Chicago. Woohoo! 13, bitches.
I think this is the pandemic made it even more thus. But you know, this has been happening already for many years with the beginnings of Manhunt and all the Adam for Adam and all the online ways that people were meeting for hookups. And so the clubs and the bars went through a transition during that happening. And this is just a further extension of that, I believe.
And it's what we wanted to a certain extent. It's what we asked for. We wanted to be brought in and welcomed as equal to, we wanted to be brought in as equal to everyone else in the community, which is great. But at the same time, we can now go to an Applebee's in Kansas City and sit with our partners, and we might get a few second looks, but no one's going to yell at you. No one's going to shame you in these moderately sized cities. And
But you're not going to be swinging Richards at
Wait, but
no, I'm just saying that this is the extension. This is like the natural extension of what happened.
Unless you know about one that I don't know about, I'd like to go there.
But aren't most of these
Come over to my house. I'll take you to a couple.
Aren't most of these dancers straight at these clubs?
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
most or gay for pay.
Most are straight.
We got to find them jobs. Call me.
Straight. Well, and first off, don't we? If you're a business owner, you have a club like this. Don't you want straight performers that don't get caught up in the sexual aspect of it? They want to more be about the business aspect.
Make money.
They want to make money. Yeah. Can we talk about Swinging Richards in Atlanta for a moment? What do you think about at the time? Swinging Richards, as we said in Queer News Tonight, talking about their closure. At the time when it opened, Swinging Richards was a super clever, disguised down low name. Swinging Dicks. Isn't that cute? Or you just don't care now?
Well, I mean, no, we got it.
It's cute, but they're closed, so who cares? It's cute, but they're closing in a couple days.
Okay, all right. Well, we wish you a lot of luck. I wish I had been there. Oh, wait.
I'd like to be at the closing. I think that's going to be one hell of a party.
It's going to be a lot of people open at that closing.
Do you know, wait, I told a story. This is January 12th. I told a story on Queer News Tonight. You got to go to Queer News Tonight to hear that story, a very specific story about Swinging Richards. I'll add to the story. At Swinging Richards, they have what they call the bullpen. And it's in the middle of an area where bouncers and protected, and you can't get in unless, you qualify, and qualify mostly means money. And getting into it is like 10 Seconds in Heaven, the old game. And Swinging Richards had a area room in it. It's just breathtaking what they do and what they did.
And that's where Al caught pink eye.
Oh, I got to move on. All right. If you thought the 2020 Summer Olympics were gay, it looks like 2022 Winter Olympics will be even more so. I'd swallow that question number 4. I'm not surprised a record 7 out ice skaters are going to compete in the 2022 Winter Olympics because it's ice skating after all.
I'm here for the sequins and I'm here for the blades.
The sequence and the what?
The blades.
The blades. Oh.
See, Alf, you haven't been on ice skates before. They're like knives that stand up. I'm excited about this, and 4 of the coaches for the figure skating are also gay, including Adam Rippon for here in the U.S., which is also a record.
Haven't we known this forever, though? I mean, come on, it's ice.
Well, we knew him. He was the first openly gay ice skater. Yeah. But that's the thing is, a lot of these artistic endeavors are not necessarily gay friendly. Ballet is a perfect example. Everybody expects ballet dancers to be gay, but it's not a gay friendly.
Did anybody watch the closing ceremonies in Tokyo?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that was the gayest extravaganza ever hosted by NBC.
I was waiting for Tiffany Fantasia to come on now and be part of it. I mean, it was so gay that it was like, wow.
It's like, dude, are you going to perform at Palace when you get off the show? Because
Palace on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube. And,
I mean, if you look at over the many years and the evolution of the figure skating costume, I mean, it is more sleek now, but for many years that was just full on drag extravaganza.
What do you think it is? I mean, if I can ask seriously, what is it about ice skating that attracts so many gay men to it?
The tight clothing.
But it's a hard sport. One of the USA entrants is probably going to perform the most significant free skate ever in history. Very physically demanding. While yes, on the clothes and et cetera, it's way more than that.
No.
What is it about spectacle?
It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. It's the music. It's the performance. They're usually gorgeous. I mean, God, bring Nancy Kerrigan back. She was even a cutie. I mean, they're just.
Wait, bless her knees.
Now, I was going to say, just in a little bit, lesbian Faye, what? Isn't also thinking, I could probably handle Tanya Harding too.
Ooh, I'd like her too. Yeah, I'd do a threesome, both of them.
Oh, that'd be such violent
for sure.
It'd be amazing.
Wait, Faye Watt and Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding.
Yes, for sure. I'm on top. I'm on top for sure. And then Nancy is the bottom. Nancy's totally the bottom. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, all right.
This sounds like a Olympic sport to me.
It sounds like a good time. All right.
I think part of what it is, Al, I think part of what it is like each performance of a figure skating, duo or single or whatever it is very much like a mini musical. Mm-hmm. So because they're telling a story from front to end, so it really feels like a musical. And we know that we love musical theater. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a stereotype, but we do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's the physicality and the flamboyancy at a time when we weren't allowed. If you were gay, you still had to be like, you know what I mean? But in figure skating, ice skating, it demands you be flamboyant. Express yourself. Dramatic. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that, and when we weren't able to be that ourselves, we kind of lived vicariously through that.
John, why were you never an ice skater?
You're aerodynamic.
Oh God!
He blends in with the snow.
You're definitely light in the loafers.
Wow.
So, my question: why were you never an ice skater?
I liked ho-hos, and then I became a ho-ho.
And you still are a ho-ho.
We got it. All right. Well, next up, let's consider the best thing of the week. It's called Who Rules the World?
Girls.
Right.
Booty.
Well, we have had kind of like a lesbian renaissance this week. We started on Monday in the morning with the brand new Faye What show.
Yes.
First morning LGBTQ show in the world. I invite you to check it out. It was really quite amazing. First guests for Faye were Kira Johnson and Myra from the National Task Force. These three power women talk about what's going on the planet. Then that evening on Queer News Tonight, we had a lesbian takeover of Queer News Tonight. I was in town. I showed up to anchor Queer News Tonight, and these 5 beautiful, burly, powerful women basically kicked me out the door of the studio and took Queer News Tonight over, and I loved it. And we continue to talk about what's going on with the L in our LGBTQ community. And for 2022, we're going to be talking about it frequently. Let me show you a little sample of what happened. Watch this.
Gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, T-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
Best thing of the week, the girls take over. What do y'all think?
I love it. Congratulations, Faye. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah,
Did you guys really watch it? You're playing with me.
I totally watched it. It was fantastic. I watched it in real time at 9 a.m. on Monday morning.
Wait, again, who was that voice singing?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked
Do a little
the sound
bit for
of
us
that.
right here.
L-word.
I watched both
Aqua.
both shows in person and online, and yeah, Faye, you did an amazing job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Queer News Tonight episode was one of the most fun ones we've had in a very long time. It was great.
very
Having
long
Al
time.
slowing things down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but every person on that show, I watched that also, the Lesbian Takeover, everyone held their own so strongly. It was such a powerhouse show. It really was kick-ass.
Why do the girls... no, I'll let you finish that thought.
No, I was going to say that something that I just loved about the whole show was we had every representation. We were so diverse. We had black, white, brown, Asian, and every single girl was so powerful and so knowledgeable and could hold their own. It was just a wonderful conversation that could have gone on and on and on and on. Those girls were just amazing. LaTanya, Lexi, Josie, Miss Cindy Brown, I mean, I was so happy to do that show. I was so proud of those girls, and I can't wait to do another show with them, because I mean, that's our representation matters, you know, and I want gay boys to know we don't hate gay boys. We love you, especially me. And that separation between the L and the G has to be moved aside so we can all get together and help the T. Yeah. That is just my own personal thought.
You zero in on exactly what I was going to focus on. I watched the show, and I started a group text with David and Steve in production and the 5 hosts of the show, and said, holy crap, what I've just watched. Wait, full stop. Holy crap, what I've just watched. And the girls basically say at the end of the show, calling out to gay men, and especially white gay men, especially here in South Florida, we don't hate you. And we have this perception in the community from the gay guys about girls, and I make 1,000 jokes too. Why do we do this? Why do gay men have the stereotypes and how we react to the L's in our community? Why do we do that?
I think a lot of it has to do with people being not secure in their sexuality. I think that happens with gay people just like it does straight people. When your whole life being told you have to pretend to be straight, and then you realize you're gay, and you go the opposite side where you're so involving yourself in the gay lifestyle that you're afraid that if you're seen around women, people will think you're straight. And I think it's a subconscious thing, but especially in the leather community, I've seen it. You have very gender inclusive environments, and then you have environments where, a woman walks in and she can be in full leather gear, part of the fetish community, and some of the gay guys will be like, why is she here? Well, because she didn't just get her harness for a cruise. She's actually part of the community. Like, you should go talk to her. And I do think it's a sexual insecurity that is not acknowledged.
I think it's also a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Not to be too deep on it, but when we come out into the community and such, you kind of just hear that there's that disrupt between the communities. So you just start to fulfill that and just play into it to become, it's like peer pressure.
Well, how about this, Dale? Like, I've gotten from my lesbian friends that are like, yeah, you get along with all the gay boys because you're cute, because you dress up, okay? None of the gay boys like a butch girl, and that's why we don't feel welcome at their bars, so we don't go and support them, and they don't come and support us. Is there any validity to that? Cricket.
I think there are people.
You have to think about that for a second.
No, I know, it's a lot.
I used to go to Full Moon, which was one of the lesbian bars we used to have here in town, or New Moon, sorry. And there were lots of very butch women in there, and I'd go in there and drink beer and play pool and have a blast. I think there is insecurity, and people feel intimidated around strong women, even gay men do.
Let's flip the question for a moment. Why don't the girls embrace the gay boys more? Why? I went with Faye to the Eagle. They had an amazing, congratulations again to the Eagle. It was very brave of you to do. Arguably the most masculine bar in South Florida held a lesbian tea dance. I mean, come on. And hundreds of women showed up for it. Why don't the women welcome gay men more in our community? Why not?
Well, there is some of that. I mean, Aquagirl, for example, it's just one example, but Aquagirl always has done a tea dance that is specifically mixed, that is targeted to everyone, but specifically lesbians and gay men. And they've always been quite successful. So there are situations where it does work, but I do hear you in general, there's not a marriage between the disparate
Here's the thing. I don't think you guys need us. You don't need us, so you just continue on your way. The reality is that L is the first letter of the acronym, but you guys were the trailblazers. You were the first ones. White gay men were the first ones to start everything. And I just don't think that you need us, so you don't really welcome us. So it's like, if we're there, we're there. We're just like, wallpaper.
Girl, I hope you're saying that with sarcasm, because anyone who knows gay history, like, the Stonewall riots were started by Stormy Delavery, who was a very, very butch-presenting lesbian, and Marsha.
And during the AIDS crisis, most of the people that were helping the gay men go through this were the lesbians.
Yeah,
I'm aware. But for for the bigger picture of it all, it really does seem like it's like, the reality is that you don't need us, David. Like, we're all part of this community, but the lesbians are kind of like the quietest ones. We just go with the flow.
the challenge for us for 2022 has to be, all 5 of us are sitting having this conversation. Our challenge for 2022 is let's contribute, each one of us, to help others in our contribution to change this. We're an LGBTQ community. I talk frequently. We've got midterm elections that could be catastrophic ahead. The only way we're going to survive the midterm elections is if the entire LGBTQ community unites against our crazy governor, against our crazy senator that are both up for re-election. Whatever's going to happen in terms of control of the Senate and control of the House, it requires every lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer plus individual to unite. So let's make a commitment in this conversation. We can't do it right now, but let's make a commitment in the conversation that we elevate the importance of all of us supporting all of us. And if we do that, we are going to have a better world in 2023. Now, let's move on to our segment called What's on Our Mind. I just told you what was on mine. Let's ask each of these hosts to tell us in just 30 seconds, Faye, just 30 seconds, what is important to them this week. But remember, it's got to be in 30 seconds or, oh, I love this. And by the way, I watched last week in Los Angeles. I was at Wilton, I was in West Hollywood, and I was at a party. And they showed It's Happening Out, and the part that they saw was you throwing my beloved Elle across the table.
What had happened was...
Swinging Richard here is okay. He's still okay. But if you talk more than 30 seconds, let's make sure he's okay. Oh, he is. Great.
God.
Let's start with Faye.
hate
Faye,
that bell.
what's on your mind?
Well, friends, family, it is January 13th. And by this point, we have all broken all our resolutions, right? I mean, I went to the gym once already, and I'm not going to go back. So that resolution is broken. I have decided to be kinder to myself. Next year, no resolutions. I'm done. I had said this year I was going to curse less, that I was going to be nicer to people, that I was going to buy less shoes, that I was not going to adopt so many dogs. But you know what? Screw it. I'm doing all of that crap, and I'm going to continue to do it because that's what makes Faye what? Faye what? So, resolutions out the window. Living life, being kinder to everybody. That's a resolution that I will keep throughout the year.
Yeah, I have a similar resolution to be kinder to Faye what in 2022.
So why don't you do it more?
Yeah.
Come on.
So
John-
broken so soon.
Right. John Hayden, what's on your mind this week?
On my mind this week is domestic violence. It is very important. Domestic violence is violence, but it's unseen violence so often. And so often it goes unrecognized and unreported because people are afraid for many reasons, that they're going to shame themselves, that the person will come back and do even more. And it's incredibly hard to get an emergency restraining order if you don't call right in the heat of the moment. I know someone who did it. He waited a couple days, and then he had to wait until like court opened the next business day. So please remember, take care of yourself, take care of others, and say something if you see something.
Thank you very much. And David Hopkins, what's on your mind this week?
Gender inclusivity. One of the big reasons I'm pushing this pool party, one of my good friends, Lana Summers, and her husband, Dex Morningstar, they're adult content creators here in town. Lana has been transitioning and recently got her tatas, which means she is no longer welcome in the male bathhouses. And I think that's stupid as hell. You know, we all like to be freaks, and everyone should have a place where they're welcome for it, and we need more inclusivity. People need to get over their uptightness, their puritanical views, and, you know, just have fun.
Get over your uptightness. I love that. And Dale Stein, what's on your mind this week?
Well, of course, as is always the case, we've lost a lot of very iconic people, of course, before the new year, starting with Betty White and Sidney Poitier and on, a list of very many, and then just Bob Saget. But there's somebody who was known very much in the Florida community I wanted to honor and say her name, Tiffany Middlesex, also known as Gerald Mays, an icon, an inspiration, just a beautiful human being. And she passed in her sleep a couple nights ago, and I just want to honor Tiffany Middlesex, Gerald Mays.
I don't know if you followed a beautiful tribute to Tiffany. I don't know if you followed any of my social media, but I went to 1671, which is where Betty White's star is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it was really inspirational. A lot of people said to me, why do you think Betty White is an LGBTQ icon? because she is.
That's it.
Period. Drop mic. And it was beautiful to see. I got some pictures at her star. There was a beautiful tribute of the flowers that had come in from all over. And for an entire block, people had written messages and letters, and they taped them on the walls on both sides of Hollywood Boulevard. And an overwhelming number of them were LGBT. Absolutely
Bravo.
Beautiful. It was brava for Betty
missed.
White. She will be missed. Next up, let's catch up on the news from the world of entertainment. Currently on Jeopardy. Are you watching? I got up early this morning to do it. There is a woman making history, or maybe herstory, for both the most wins and the most amount of money won for a woman. Our celebrity hot topic this week is about Amy Schneider. And before we talk about it, watch this.
By someone in San Francisco. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so when I moved out to San Francisco, I was a little bit involved in the local comedy scene, and there's a comedian up there, Natasha Muse, who's a trans woman. And growing up in the Midwest in a conservative family, I had gotten kind of a distorted idea of what it meant to be trans. And so seeing her like being smart and funny and cool and just a normal person with a normal life and kids and everything like that just showed me that it was something that I could possibly be, and that really made a difference for me.
Well, tonight, as It's Happening Out is on, she's going for win 31. I don't know yet what the outcome is, but I think I do know what the outcome is. Amy Schneider makes history on Jeopardy as the highest earning woman ever, and she's trans. What do y'all think about what we're watching on Jeopardy?
She's going to be the highest earner, period. That's it. It won't have anything to do with her being trans at all. And I love her. Like, I love her. She's so knowledgeable, so powerful. And you know, she was voted most likely to be on Jeopardy in 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Crazy. As a boy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she is an inspiration. And I did television for a long time, and she's just good television. She's fun to watch. She's easy to root for, whether you know she's trans or not. By the way, I was watching her way back in December when she was starting this run, and I was with my mom up in Michigan. Hi, Mom. And Mom had no idea she was even trans. She just loved her because she was so engaging, so knowledgeable, so great about the game. So I love her, and she needs to be the Grand Marshal in this year's Stonewall Parade. I think that would be amazing for us.
Look, and to all those social media trolls, screw you. Go find a life. Go find something to do. You know, I know idiots, because of course we all know idiots, right? I know idiots that like rooted for her and then like didn't know she was trans, and then now they don't want to root for her because they know she's trans. I mean, are you effing kidding me right now?
You know, to that point, and David has the best perspective on this because he does a lot of the social media work here at Happening Out. Tell us a little bit about what you're watching.
Well, one thing I need to point out to all the social media trolls, especially on our YouTube comments, learn the difference, if you're going to argue that liberals don't know science, between genetic gender, chromosomal gender, and hormonal gender, because they all are different things and they don't always match even when they're in one person. So yeah, learn the science before you start complaining that people who are transgender don't exist.
But what are they saying, David?
Oh, well, she's genetically a male, so of course she's going to win because men are stupid, stuff like that.
Of course she's going to win because men are smarter?
Yeah, they misgender her. Like
This room is proof that
these
that's
people who probably didn't even pass middle school science are trying to argue like genetics and gender when they have no concept of what's actually involved in genetics and gender. Educate yourself. That's all I have to say.
You know, Amy Schneider was on, she had won 29 times, and I never watched Jeopardy. We reported her repeatedly. How many stories have we done, David, at Queer News Tonight?
We've done, I think, four or five.
4 or 5 stories, and I had never watched her. And it was like, oh, this is a great story, and I'm glad the trans person is doing it. Yesterday, I realized, wait, I really got to pay attention here because this is a cultural interest story now for the LGBTQ community. Because somebody is watching in Lincoln, Nebraska that doesn't know their identity, or they feel repressed, or they're being harmed, or they're being rejected by their family, or whatever it might be. And Amy Schneider is a voice that's piercing through that. She's attractive. She's interesting. She's smart. By the way, did I mention she's smart? And as a result, somebody in Topeka, Kansas, or in Helena, Montana, or Boise, Idaho, is seeing somebody like Amy Schneider that they've never seen before. And it becomes an inspiration. Last night, she competed in her 30th episode, and I got up this morning to watch it. I've never done that before. She's moving Al to pay attention to.
That takes a lot to move you.
Oh my goodness. We have so much gratitude for Amy Schneider.
And could we say thank you to Jeopardy and the network that brings us Jeopardy for shedding that light, for just embracing her, for the welcoming. I mean, you have a bunch more LGBTQ viewers now because you've given her this spotlight.
Pouring in now to Jeopardy. And how great is it that while she's on this streak, that the host is Ken Jennings, the #1 contestant of all time.
Awesome.
It's awesome. It's like stars are aligning. We're watching every day now with bated breath. I haven't told production, but we may follow every single episode of Jeopardy to the end of this string.
More work for you, David. Get ready.
Day, right? All right. Well, we love it. Up next, if we were standing around the LGBTQ water cooler, this is what we think we would all be talking about. We refer to it as the hot topic of the week. And this is an interesting subject, something that I think is going to hit home with many of us, especially with me with the Havana 7-Year Blacks sitting in front of me.
Cheers.
Alternatively, this month is known as Dry January or Sober January. People have been using the first month of the calendar to abstain from booze for decades, unless you're on It's Happening Out. If you've ever been curious to try cutting back or cutting alcohol out altogether, Dry January is a great opportunity to experiment with moderation and sobriety. So our main topic this week is This is Dry January. Is it a good commitment, or what does it mean for the LGBTQ community? What do you think?
Well, you guys all know that I'm in recovery, so I have dry February, dry March, dry August, it is that kind of thing. But January, I have more company, right, in my LGBTQ community, and I love that. The reality is that if you don't have booze in your system for a couple of weeks, your mind, body, and spirit become so clear. You don't make all these stupid decisions that we usually make, and it's just really good for you, and then you really get to sit with your alcohol consumption and see if you do have a problem. I know friends that have tried to do the dry January and can't make it past a week. And then they've got to sit down with themselves and go, okay, is this an issue? Is this something that I need to work on? Or, the reality is that our community goes hand in hand with alcohol and partying. It's everywhere. If you can't abstain from it from a couple of weeks and it really is an issue, might be something you might want to look into.
I generally reduce my drinking in January, mostly because the holidays are really tough for me. I live far from my family. I have depression issues sometimes, so I tend to way overdrink through Christmas and New Year. So January just becomes the time for me to purge it, reset my mind, get over that hump of the depression and back into life after the after the holidays. So it's something I kind of subconsciously have been practicing for a long time. I'll still have a cocktail here or there, but generally, month of January, it's only one or two through the whole month instead of.
I'm curious to
unless
all of
it's
you.
happening out.
Unless someone's happening out.
I'm curious to all of you. In the LGBTQ community, is it a fair statement that perceptually we are much more alcoholic, or wrong word, much more alcohol-centric in our events, our activities, our bars, than the traditional.
Perception or reality?
Well, both.
I think perceptionally, yes. I mean, I grew up in Indianapolis. The Indianapolis 500 every year, 350,000, 400, mostly straight, drunk people. I mean, no, I think that it's perception-wise, yes. I would argue that no. In reality, we're
it's just
I don't agree with.
I feel like a lot of substance abuse is to mask trauma and emotions, and I feel like a lot of the LGBTQ community has a lot of trauma to mask, and a lot of people don't know how to cope with it well because they have distances from their families, so they do tend to overindulge.
If that's the case, why do we have difficulty facing? Wait, we have an alcohol problem. We're not alcoholics. but we have an alcohol problem. Why do we have difficulty facing it?
Because we have so many problems as it is, Al. We have a drug problem, we have a sex problem, we have a disease problem. We have so many problems that we don't want to be looking at that as another aspect. And honestly, alcohol is not something that people really take as seriously as they should.
Yeah.
I don't know the stats of how many people died, but let me tell you this, that it is January 13th, right? 12. Correct? 12. And as of today, it's only not even been 2 weeks. I have already lost 3 people that I go to AA meetings with from overdoses and suicide. Okay? 3. It is only January 12th. Take that in. We have a problem.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I know so many people in the community. Excuse me, in the community who are in recovery. So many. I'm sure we all do. But I also think that our events, like we said, our parties, but even our highbrow events, our galas, and all of those kinds of events are sponsored by liquor companies. So there's money, so it's glamorous to have a cocktail. So we do encourage it as well.
Well, and also going back to what David is saying, we have a lot of insecurities in the LGBTQ community. You have, that liquid courage. That's what alcohol does. I don't know about you, but even me, as outlandish as I can be, I remember early coming out being a little scared and embarrassed of how I look, and am I going to walk into this room the right way? And a couple of shots of vodka would clear that up.
It's interesting to me, Faye. Excuse me. You were subsequently seriously affected by alcohol.
I was homeless out. I lived in my car for approximately 3 weeks back in 2014. It is not a joke. I am 7 years in recovery. I'm a freaking miracle. Okay, because it's less than 3% of people who find help, who go and get help, actually stay recovered for more than a couple of years. And I'm 7 years in recovery. I don't have an out. I don't get to not go to AA meetings. I don't get to, let me just have a drink. I have people who watch this show that will see us out at events and go, really? That's for real? Come on, girl, have a shot. And I'm like, no, that's not part of my world. You and me go to a million events together, Al. You never see a drink in my hand. Never. I don't give a crap if you're you're not gonna force it on me. At the end of the day, you drinking doesn't make me want to drink. Myself and my depression and my journey was what put me in that dark place. Mm-hmm. And I am beyond blessed and lucky as hell that I'm alive today.
A lot of people
We're all lucky.
realize.
We're all lucky, Faye. We love you.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
We do love you. A lot of people don't realize Faye had one of the most incredible radio careers in the nation. If you don't mind me impinging on the personal here of your story, so you crash in the way you do, which is the whole point of evaluate in dry January if you have a situation to help start the evaluation. What helped you pull out of it? What became the motivation to say, that's enough, I've got to change?
It sounds super silly, and pet lovers will understand what I'm saying. I lost $150,000 in a contract. That didn't make me stop drinking. I lost the love of my life at that time, left me right there stranded in LA, and she had to, for her own life. I lost my friends, my family. I was living in my car. None of that made me stop drinking. I still drank for another year and a half. God, all I could say is that I didn't want my dog to die, and I didn't want my dog to be found days later. So I had to figure out a way to get better, and I did. My dog taught me unconditional love, and to this day she could pee and poop everywhere, that little bitch, because I know what she was there for. I was having seizures on a daily basis, at least 2 a day. Okay, there are moments where I still feel kind of wet brain because of all those seizures that I had. I'm not supposed to be here. It's God. Whenever somebody extends their hand to me and says, I need help, will you help me find a program, help me find a meeting? I'm like, let's go right now. That's how I stay sober.
Yeah, I refer people to Faye all the time. I know a lot of people in the community, and when they're looking for help, I'm like, I know Faye will know somebody, and I'll text them or send them their info. And
so what I just heard you say is you attached yourself to something that was more important to you than the alcohol.
I had to.
And it was your dog.
And it was my dog. And again, to whoever it sounds frivolous, that's up to you, But I mean, any dog lover out there knows that we love our pets. Yeah. So, whatever, if it was God, if it was the dog, whatever it was a higher power bigger than me, very much bigger than me. And something told me that I was supposed to send this message to others, that I was supposed to be standing here to tell others that might have a problem with alcohol, that there is a solution. There's always a freaking solution.
Mm-hmm. Very powerful story, Faye. And I echo John's comments. You already know this. We love you. You know I love you. It's been a great week for you. A great week for you. You led the Lesbian takeover of Queer News Tonight. You launched the Faye What Show. You have people that unconditionally support you. Dale sings for you. I mean, come on. So all of those things that you lost are coming back, and they're going to be greater than anything.
And watch out, Rachel Maddow and Ellen, because as of February 1st, Faye is going to be the biggest lesbian on broadcast TV. So
right, congratulations to you. It's dry January, and if you think you have an issue, reach out to someone, and there is someone there that can help you and at least help you consider if you need to explore other alternatives. Well, let's explore next some of the LGBTQ plus world issues or local issues. This week, we are going to look at some of the silly or important headlines in the LGBTQ news that are taking place this weekend. This is going to be a little lightning round. We're going to discuss them in our segment we call Saved by the Bell. But there is a twist. We're only going to discuss them in just each headline for 1 minute, after the headline for just 1 minute. And at the end of the minute, I get to touch my beloved bell one more time. I seem to be addicted to it, and that's my addiction, and I love it.
What about no January bell in January?
The only reason I like that bell is because it looks like a boob.
Yeah.
What's the bell sound like, Al?
Thank you, John. That was very kind of you. And when you hear that bell, you got to stop and you got to move on. So here we go. Our first Saved by the Bell. Ted Cruz. Oh, I love saying his name. Look at that beautiful face.
Grandpa Munster.
Right. Ted Cruz is known as one of the most anti-LGBTQ plus members of Congress. The internet is going wild because his 13-year-old daughter's TikTok identifies her as queer and bisexual. Saved by the Bell headline number 1, Karma as Ted Cruz's teenage daughter comes out. What do y'all think?
I think a lot of conservatives who are saying she can't understand her sexual identity at 13 obviously never paid attention to themselves. I knew I was gay long before then, even if I didn't know what sex was or what sexual feelings were. I knew I preferred guys. I didn't come to terms with it until after I was 18, but yeah, like, people know what they're doing. She's 13, she's into puberty, she gets it.
And also in this social media age, when kids have grown up in this information age much more than I did. And I knew I was attracted to men when I was 3 years old. So yes, you can know it. But the access to information is right there. So yes, I believe she knows exactly what she's doing. And I think she knows exactly what her father is, I think. And so she's really taking that head on. And kudos.
And her statements have been that, like, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. She even went on to say that there was like a family photo that they had fixed because she didn't look. They retouched it because she didn't look conservative enough for the picture, and that was a Ted Cruz doing. So I think that we're going to be finding out a lot more about this guy, more than we want to know, but good stuff though.
Can anybody say Mary Trump?
Remember, this is the daughter that he threw under the bus.
Exactly right. Exactly. All right. With non-binary and gender-fluid celebrities taking the spotlight, what used to be boring unisex clothing is turning into all-gender fashion. Saved by the Bell headline number 2, gender-fluid dressing is making waves in the fashion industry. What do y'all think about what's going on in fashion?
So I binged watched the whole Queer Eye for a straight guy, the last season, right? And I'm in love with Jonathan. I just love him, and he's the non-binary character on Queer Eye, and he brings all this incredible fashion that I'd never seen before. Very mainstream. I think it really is gonna. I think it's gonna really stick. I think more people will be like, oh wow, okay, great, this is unisex. Let me wear it. You wear it. Blah blah blah.
And it's a step towards fashion sustainability too. I know you like to only wear other things, and we had a shopping day today.
We did have a shopping day,
which was really fun. And
wait,
this is a step.
Wait, what?
Well, okay. The thing is that everybody has to do their part. I believe that everybody should try to do their part, recycling or otherwise. I don't wear any new clothes. I don't wear anything that's new.
Yes, so that's great. Wait, you
and he went shopping with me today.
Yeah, it was really fun.
John,
it was really fun. We were at Closed Manor and Plantation. It was great. Closed Manor and Plantation.
close mentor in Plantation that's going to be dressing me, and he picked out some of the outfits for me for some of the Faye What Show.
Wait, I'm sorry. We had a little connection problem. The internet went down in the studio. John helped dress you today?
He picked some really cute outfits. What do you think? This is cute.
It's adorable.
John picked that?
Do you don't like it?
I like
this was
it.
the first thing he picked.
I do. Well, what I don't understand is how can John pick that and look that way, and then what John's wearing?
John just needs to learn dress dresses.
We didn't
What
even get to
country
discuss this topic.
has the best drag race queens? The UK, by the way, thinks it's them, and they're challenging everyone else on the planet on February 1st. Saved by the Bell headline number 3. The BBC reveals yesterday details on RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the world. What do y'all think?
Well, that's some chutzpah.
Yeah, I think RuPaul Drag Race UK does have some of the best queens on the shows. I'm also kind of sick of RuPaul's Drag Race. Support your local queens. There's a lot of amazing talent locally. I think some of the girls who get on RuPaul are absolutely astounding, and some of them are just overblown girls who wouldn't get booked at
Who wants
the
to
local
take a
bars here in
page out of the
town.
Republican handbook, and if you don't believe support of Donald Trump, you excommunicate them? And we do that to David now from the gay community.
Let's just not talk to him.
Do you think this is totally orchestrated by Ru?
Oh, it's a World of Wonder product, no question.
Yeah, so-
about
But Rue's not on. Michelle Visage, Graham Norton.
No, I'm just talking. No, but she, I mean, her hand is in everything.
Well, I mean, it says RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
I hope they're able to shoot it because it's a worldwide thing and they're bringing in queens from other countries, and with all the travel restrictions, I think they're starting to shoot in 6 weeks or something.
No, it's on TV.
It's on now.
So it's been
okay.
No, it's going to launch February.
Oh, so it's already been.
It's already
Okay.
been
Yes.
filmed.
Well, then
Yeah.
ignore me.
Yeah. Well, John, I always do that. All right. Well, when Cassandra Peterson's memoir revealed she was a lesbian, the LGBTQ plus community celebrated. Not everyone was so happy, though. So Saved by the Bell headline number 5. Did you recognize that name I said? Yeah. Well, she is Elvira. And Elvira's social media was unfollowed by 11, quote, according to her, 11,000 horny old men after she revealed she was a lesbian. What do y'all think?
Who cares? 11,000, that's a drop in the bucket.
And
Please, she's got millions of fans all over the world. That's nothing. Fine, 11,000. She probably gained a bunch more once she told us that she was gay.
60,000.
So I feel like she's the reason that I'm gay and love boobs, because when I was a little kid, I used to watch Elvira's Midnight Matinee with my father. I loved her movies. I saw her movie in the theater. I had the Coors Light cardboard cutout from their beer stand.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I had that. It would go by the door every Halloween. Elvira has always been abreast of my life. And yeah, she's amazing. I love her.
Yeah.
So screw those 11,000 people.
One of the, in addition to David's observation, one of the things I really like about this story that's gone on all year in terms of her coming out, she was very fearful of her announcement. And it wasn't family, it wasn't children potentially, it wasn't close immediate friends. She was afraid about the LGBTQ community because she's talked a lot about this, that she was worried that her coming out would be viewed as a rejection of the community. And I love that she was concerned about that. And ever since she's come out, I've loved her even more.
Yes, me too.
So the LGBTQ community is a shout out to Elvira. We welcomed you when you announced it. We welcomed you before you announced it. And we love everything you've done.
And I don't look as very good now, and she's 74, so
That's
hell.
right. She's holding it well. All right. National Bobblehead Day. Yes, it was January 7th. And the world celebrated with a new limited edition version of the Secretary of Transportation. Saved by the Bell, headline number 5. Yes, it's true. Pete Buttigieg is a bobblehead. And Tucker Carlson did say it.
That's true.
Bobbleheads creep me
That's a
out.
very good looking bobblehead. It looks more like a Kennedy, but I'll take it. I mean,
Buddha
it's
bobble.
cute.
Buddha bobble. He's a Buddha bobblehead.
Of course Tucker Carlson is mad. No one wants a bobblehead of his ugly ass. I mean, come on.
I think it's fantastic.
Do y'all like bobbleheads?
I know that you lately have been obsessed with them, Al, and I need to know where that came from. Like,
I mean, I
what
had
the
no
hell?
idea that there was a bobblehead day until we.
Well,
I didn't
There's
know
a bobblehead museum
and
in
a
Milwaukee.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Did they have bobbleheads when you were a kid, Al?
Yeah. Well, you're kind of getting it wrong. I'm obsessed on bobblehead, but it's not the same thing. Finally, tonight, we are the LGBTQ community. So what does that mean, everybody? Why is it always the lesbian yelling that out?
Yeah.
Well, tonight it's a special lesbian night.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know these characters. All right, so apparently that means sex and relationships. So let's play another game, and our game asks, who would you do? Oh, I'm probably not going to do these. And what would you do to 3 different interesting people? And tonight our game, of course, is called Shag, Mary, Chop. And our theme is celebrating sexy personal trainers. Oh, they're going to be big, butch, muscle guys. Great.
That was last week when you weren't here.
Yeah, I did that one. Oh. No, you're going to get 3 beautiful powerhouses.
To help with the New Year's resolution, we need trainers, but this time it's the ladies. So this week we're going to play, all right, this is going to be great, with Jillian Michaels. Oh, she is so tough. Jillian Michaels, Jackie Warner, oh, she's tough too, and Mariana Costa. All right, pretty girls.
Ooh.
You know, Faye, I'm going to save you for last.
Okay.
Let's start with John Hayden. John, who would you shag?
It's not really going to happen,
hold on,
John.
wait,
It's okay.
Okay, wait, just let me.
This is a game.
Oh my
Just-
God.
just let me
I
get-
have to do this every week, guys.
John.
Didn't we
okay?
just commit to being kinder to our?
No, you
Come on,
cannot.
people.
You've got to play this game.
That's
I do
right.
it every week, boys.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Shag Jackie, because she's doing those leg lifts like
Wait.
nobody's business.
Okay. Now, really, what you mean is Jackie's going to be shagging you. You're
Well, that's
a
fine.
She
ragdoll.
totally looks like she'd peg.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'd marry Jillian just because I feel like I know her. We've been TV friends forever, and then I'm gonna have to chop Mariana. So. bye,
Did
girl.
everybody hear the mic drop there? You heard it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. I've known her.
Forever. We're friends. She trained me. Look how good I look.
Oh yeah. This is it, kids.
Julian Michaels is texting right now. How dare you associate me with that word? All right. And the chop is Mariana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, girl.
Why?
She's all that's left.
Well, that's at least an honest answer.
Which explains most of my hookups as well.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. You're a catch. Somebody's going to walk into your life and just sweep you off the cart.
Lots of people catch things in this town.
All right.
So I actually enjoy this because if you're familiar with the Kinsey scale, I identify as Kinsey 4, so I'm mostly into guys, but I do like the ladies every so often.
When's the last time you were with a woman?
2 years ago.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Since I've known you?
Since you've known me.
Wow.
I'm going to shag Mariana. She doesn't speak a word of English as far as I can tell looking up her videos, and I do generally like the tatas.
Wait, you're going to shag her because she can't talk?
Yes, because Latinos are just fun in bed. And she's got that booty. Look at that there, right? I'm going to marry Jillian Michaels for the fitness empire money, and also because she has the dog.
Oh, it's
so,
a financial
yes.
decision, like most marriages.
Yeah, and she's gorgeous too, but yeah, like she's got dogs and money. And sorry, Jackie, but your abs terrify me, so I'm going to cut you.
More honesty, and I can't wait for this. Dale Stein, and I know how out there you are in sex. Which
I don't know what that means.
He's a church man.
Right.
Oh yeah, churchmen are never into sex.
Right,
who are you
that's
gonna-
priest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Or altar
Right.
boys.
Who are you shagging?
I'm going to shag Jackie. Is that right? Yeah. I'm going to shag Jackie because she has this really. I like her way about it. And I'm going to shag.
You like what? I didn't quite hear that. What?
Well, she has I like her persona. She has a great body. I like.
See, we're working really hard here, Faye. We are actually. It's interesting. We are getting a perspective of what you've had to deal with for a year.
Yeah, basically.
And then
Because when's the last time? I know you talk about men, but when's the last time you were with a man?
6 years ago.
See, it's interesting. I'm learning that right now.
and she also, Jackie knows she's into the posing. She's doing the photo shoot, so we could do some, I don't know, foreplay in a photo shoot.
Foreplay in a photo shoot. Is that like Netflix and chill?
Oh, Dale, you just got called out. And who are you married?
Then I'm going to marry Jillian, one, because of the dog, two, because she still has the dog, and plus that core is on fire. Her core is so strong, so I like that. That tells me something about her as a person. I see her as having a strong core as a person, and she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to chop Mariana because she seems to, the others, she just seems more self-absorbed for some reason. I don't know, I'm just picking up that kind of energy.
I'm curious, and I've got to ask the three of you, because we do have an interesting thing that we're watching here that we do see with Faye week after week. Is this just like not interesting to you at all in having to do it this way? Not only are you're gay men, I understand, and you might experiment, I understand. But in general, Faye's point is, I have to do this every single week.
Oh, I think it's.
Are y'all having the same reaction?
See, the thing to recognize.
I think there should be more inclusivity.
Yeah, I'm into fetish. So for me, it doesn't necessarily have to be sex to have a good time. If there's good chemistry with somebody, we're getting off one way or the other. So gender becomes much less important for me. And I think everybody just needs to learn to recognize what can be sensual and enjoyable without it just being, banging.
Slam, bam, thank you.
Yeah,
is that what's going to go on at your pool party, January?
There's probably going to be a little bit of everything going on at the pool party. In leather is clothing optional.
It's clothing optional?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move on. That's our game.
What happened to me? Wait, what happened to me? I'm Shag Mary and I'm chopping.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
All right, so I am going to shag Mariana because vamos a estar hablando en la cama. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te gusta? ¿Te gusta esto? Te voy a dar así. Ay, ¿cómo me llamo? Dice Faye what? Dice Faye what?
You know what's scary? I understood every single word that Faye just said.
Because you slept with many Latino men. That's why you know everything that I said.
Many.
So I'm going to shag Mariana for that, and I'm going to marry Jillian Michaels. Again, she's a dog lover, and she's completely insane. Like, she is just nuts. Some of the stuff that she puts out there is like, it's like CrossFit is for crazy people. Don't ever do that. Like, I love her for that. So just because I have to chop, what's her name? Jackie Warner.
She was one of the names you sent me in the first place.
That's it. No, I used to stalk her in LA. I had like
Jackie?
a thing for her. I was obsessed. I had a moment there.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
You were drinking.
Yeah.
I'm curious for you. Whoops. Sorry, whoops.
Sorry,
nice, Dale. Nice. Wow, you are her friend.
I can't be.
Y'all go to Unity Coalition together, right? She's on the stage. You're on the stage.
Unity on the Bay.
Unity on the Bay. Sorry. Faye, I'm curious, before we move away from Shag Mary Chop, I asked the guys their reaction. What is your reaction of playing a Shag Mary Chop with women?
I love it. I'm all for it. I'm so glad that we're doing it. The reality is that in LGBTQ, we're able to see beauty and go, that's beautiful. It has nothing to do with gender, just like David said. That's why I never understood why we didn't do more women. Yeah. We had a handicap time once. We had a Shag Mary Chop. Nobody even noticed that they were handicapped, but we did it, and that was awesome because it was reality.
It reminds me. I read once upon a time. It's been a lifetime ago when Jessica Rabbit's character came out as a drawn character, and the studio talked about all of the popularity. Remember when Jessica Rabbit turned the world on its ear? The number one demographic that loved Jessica Rabbit was gay men. Isn't that interesting? To your point.
Because we love the Mae West and the Marilyn Monroe.
Exactly right. We love that. We just don't want to have sex with it, maybe. But we love that representation.
You're lost.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. All right.
David's right there for it.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, before we end the show, we introduce you to our sponsor. Oh, yes, we have our sponsor with us tonight, and that's Jet's Pizza. Are you coming to South Florida, or do you live here? You've got to try the pizza of choice for the LGBTQ community, and that's Jet's Pizza. We're getting ready to enjoy it here in the studio.
I already ate like 3.
Well, that's it, South Florida, and that's it, America. Another week with you and the world's first and most popular LGBTQ talk show in the world. And before we sign off, let's hear from our host one final time as a good night. And let's begin as a good night from Dale Stein.
Well, I'm going to make this an extension of what I talked about, what was on my mind. And just because people are leaving us, it seems in droves, and the older you get, and I'm old, the older you get, I guess you tend to lose more people, it seems. So I just want to encourage us all to reach out to anybody who comes to your mind. If a person comes to your mind, reach out to that person, send them a text, give them a call, And I think that's really important. You know, say I love you to your family, to your friends. Say I love you even to the people in this room. That's what's on my mind.
Thank you very much, and good night from David Hopkins.
You know, I just got to say, give everyone a chance, because you never know who's going to change your life. And come to our pool party for charity.
Excellent. And a good night from John Hayden.
I was very lucky this holiday season. I got to spend a very long weekend with my mom and my brother and my stepdad up in Michigan. I just got off a 9-day cruise with my dad, and I was very happy. But I'm also thrilled to be back here with all of these guys. Love the ones that you're with every day, and don't ever take them for granted.
And I agree with that, John, and you. You're very welcomed here. And a good night from Faye What?
Faye what? So I've had an awesome week. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting me. Make sure you watch the new Faye What show. It's on Monday mornings, okay? You're going to love it. It's all about life, fun, uniting the L and the G. That's what it's all about. And then on Monday and Wednesdays, I'm at Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson and IHO next Wednesday. To all you women out there this week, everything I did was for you guys, all right? If you feel like you're not enough or you're in a dark place, baby girl, you are enough, and everything is possible. All right, you just have to hope, pray, and make it happen. But trust me, there's a solution to everything, and I am just an example of that.
You know, and congratulations to you, and your story about your sobriety is quite inspirational to me tonight. You know, I've been here 3.5 years. 3.5 years. The original night of It's Happening Out, and it launched everything else. It launched the Happening Out television network. David's been here from the beginning. Steve has been here from the beginning, who's directing here tonight. It's been quite an exciting journey. In the 3.5 years, I didn't know a fraction of what I thought I knew about the LGBTQ community that I know tonight. And that is being one of the best traveled people you have ever met in the LGBTQ world. One of the things that I know tonight washes over me in doing this first, It's Happening Out in 2022, we've got to work on our diversity. Yes, first. We have to work on bringing our lesbians into our community. We have to work on bringing our bisexuals into our community, and however they identify. Once upon a time, I said it didn't even exist. We have to work harder to support and stand up, much less bring in our trans brothers and sisters into our community, and embrace the queer identifying and queer plus and our allies into our community. The only possibility of success of 2022 is if we do that, because overriding everything is these midterm elections in November, because it's going to dramatically affect our rights, our recognition, our voting rights, our rights as LGBT in terms of an Equality Act, in terms of our ability of what happens in the military, and maybe even the Supreme Court and marriage is at stake. We've got to do better in 2022. So I am very proud of the association with the lesbian community and the trans community and our people of color. And we've got to do better this year. And I tell you, in our first show of It's Happening Out of 2022, I'm committed to that. And I'm going to work very hard to help support the voices that really need to be the strong voices in our community. And you're seeing many of those faces here tonight. So I ask you, is what you've watched tonight important to you? You sat right here at the LGBTQ kitchen table right along with us. Look at the breadth of the topics that we have talked about in the last 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 54 seconds. Getting ready to close. We are here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. live and have been for 3.5 years. We survived. We're going to continue to survive. And oh, by the way, we're not going to be just this little show in Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch. We're going to broadcast television February 1st on Roku as the first LGBTQ network in history. And you're coming right along with us. And on Apple, and on Amazon Fire, and on Google. You'll get to watch us in bed on your big 72-inch television. And we're very excited about that. So don't forget, Queer News Tonight is daily at 8 p.m. The Faye What Show is Mondays at 9 a.m. Doesn't that sound good? And Hotspots Magazine, remember, if it's important to you, It's Happening Out.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, guys.
Night.